how that works. All right, so we are now recording.
Yay.
So talk nicely to each other.
Will do.
Usually there's a button that says screen share, but I'm not seeing it here. Oh, here we go. Hang on. There it is. Okay, can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
Your healthy home.
Your healthy home. And then you lovely ladies are all over to the side here, so I can see you, but you're smaller now.
That's okay.
And I'm going to enlarge. There we go. How's that?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Good.
So Darlene has seen this presentation once before. I did this actually, Judy, at Dave Ivy's place at his clinic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he asked me to go there. Remember he came to our church and he did that talk about health?
Yes.
Yeah, and I knew he was coming. We had lunch after that with him and Jane, and he said he wanted to partner up because he's a chiropractor, Elsa, and I know Elsa has a practice as well. She's a massage therapist and amongst other things, yoga teacher soon to be.
Yeah. I don't know.
Elsa, that's on the call here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Elsa was there last night, so you guys met last night.
Yeah.
So Dave Ivy's a chiropractor in Shaughnessy in North York, and he said he has a lot of clients who obviously they're already into natural options because they're coming in and getting chiropractic, but they want to go chemical free in their home. Like people are becoming more aware and awakening to, some of the stuff that they're got floating around in their indoor space, but they don't know where to start. Like chemical free home, what does that mean? Like, yes, ideally I'd like to take all this stuff out of my house, but I don't know which things I should be avoiding and which things I should be replacing them with. And so he asked me to come in and teach this to some of his clients because he found a lot of people were asking. He's like, yes, you should go chemical free. And they said, what do we do? And he says, I don't know. So it was a great marriage of the two. I came in and helped him and gave away a few little prizes and stuff. It was fun. He had like a wellness day and I came in to do a yoga class. And then I did this little presentation here. So yeah, so I'm excited. And Jane was going to hop on tonight because she's already seen it, but she wanted to hear it again.
Yeah.
So what will we cover tonight? We will look at why some chemicals are harmful. Turn my phone off here. And we will look at some of what are the key toxic chemicals and how they affect us and where we find them. So if you have a notepad, you may want to take some notes or, hopefully I'll be able to post this recording up on the Facebook page. We're also going to discuss some simple strategies, how to detox your home and why reducing chemicals isn't attainable and when we should start today, attainable goal. It's not that difficult, but sometimes we feel like it's overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And then, so this is remember when we used to play outside all the time. Remember when, the home was a safe place. It was the gathering place. And, back in the 50s, a lot of housewives were at home, right? And that was their pride, was taking care of the household stuff. And our lifestyles have changed drastically since then. A lot of moms are working. A lot of people spend more time indoors. A lot of houses don't even have a yard anymore. The lots are so tiny, right? That people just come in the driveway and they go straight into the house. They don't even get out of the car outside. Sometimes they're driving in and, right? This indoors at work, indoors at home. And it's not rare for somebody to not even go outside, especially in the winter months. So lifestyles have drastically changed. And also so has our food. Our food is not our food anymore. And all of these things have, been introduced since the 60s. This list of things here, the different sweeteners, MSG, food colorings, preservatives, BHAs, corn syrup, and high fructose is in a lot of processed foods. So our food has really changed, not for the better necessarily, although we have more food options, I think, than we did back in the 50s. There's a lot of guck added to our food. So we need to educate ourselves on what to avoid, right? And then our gardens have changed.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
not the safe places they used to be, right? We've got pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, and fertilizers to kill the weeds and help things grow faster, and a lot of things for convenience because our lifestyles have changed. And then in our homes, we have a lot more chemicals than we used to. Our personal care products, our cosmetics, our pots and pans, and all of this stuff combined has a negative impact on our health and our environment. We talked a little bit last night about the dirty dozen, chemicals to avoid. There's many more than a dozen, but if we just focus on 12, at least it's a good start, sort of the worst offenders. And these are all, as I said, you can see the website along the bottom here, the davidsuzuki.org issues health. Like it's a link you can click on there at the bottom of the screen. And he's the one who compiled this list, although I've seen it in many, many places. So if you're going to turn around a soap or something, I'm going to show you something here. This is a lovely soap that I received as a gift, just to do a little education. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see it?
Yep, I can see it.
On the front.
How do I turn it around?
Pardon me?
Oh, no, I can see the other lady there.
Oh, you can?
Just in the corner.
Can you see my soap?
No.
You can't see my soap here on the screen?
Oh, now I see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a lovely soap. It says lavender mint foaming hand wash. Look at the label, right? It looks like all got leaves on it. It looks kind of old-fashioned. It looks like it would be natural. Lavender mint, it's very attractive packaging. So this is what the front of the label will say. But if you become a very discerning consumer, an educated consumer, and you read the back, that's where you need to start looking.
Right.
The first ingredient is water, then sodium lauryl sulfate, the second ingredient, which if we look at our list here. Oh, let's go to the next page. Sodium lauryl sulfate, right there, number 11 in our dirty dozen list. So what is that? It is used in foaming shampoos, soaps, cosmetics. It's a carcinogen, which means causes cancer. That's the second ingredient. I've got fragrance is the third ingredient. So there's actually no lavender or mint in here. It's just fragrance. If you look at number 7, perfume, fragrance, carcinogen, neurotoxicity, allergies and sensitivities, used in a variety of cosmetics. So they can hide anything in a fragrance. And then we also have diosodium, EDTA, DMDM, hydratoin, citric acid, red 33. So there's actually no lavender. So they've got to color it to make it look purple, right? And blue 1. So the purple color is red and blue dye. And the lavender mint is a fake fragrance, and the foaming agent is a carcinogen. So I'm just asking you guys to be really aware of that's a very attractive, looks a cute little package. It looks very clean and white and nice flowers on it, lavender mint. Oh, let me put that. But really, it's just a bunch of toxins you're putting on your skin, right? So that's just an example of things that make me crazy when I stop. And yes, I get a little bit, passionate about it and a little bit on my soapbox about it, but it bothers me that people are being deceived, right? That consumers are seeing this natural, pure, and it's not. So let's run through these a little bit more, these dirty dozen. So BHAs and BHTs, endocrine disruptors. So we're going to talk in the next few slides about endocrine disruptors. But your endocrine system is all your glands and your hormones that regulate your body. So things like your thyroid, your ovaries, your liver, your adrenals, those glands that send messages to the rest of your body. Okay, now liver, do this. Now, brain, do this. Now, and they're the highways, the messages that go through your body. And when those endocrine organs get disrupted, the messages don't get through to the rest of your body. And this is when I talk about things messing up your nervous system, that's what this is. These pathways get disrupted by these chemicals, right? So when you see something that's an endocrine disruptor, don't think, I don't know what that is. It's a big word. It's actually pretty simple to know that the messages aren't getting through, right? Because there's something confusing your body. And then carcinogen, cancer causing, bioaccumulation, another big word. We'll look at this in a bit too. It means when things build up in your body over time. So each little bit of chemical might not be so bad in the small doses that it's in a certain product. But when it builds up in your body and you're using it every day over your lifetime, we can become very toxic. And eventually the body just says, enough. I've had enough. I'm shutting down. And then you start getting all kinds of health problems. Coal tar dyes in lipsticks, processed foods, heavy metal toxicity. DEA, I think that was one of the ingredients in the soap, wasn't it? That we looked at? EDTA, it's probably very similar. Again, carcinogen, foaming products. Yes, my guess is it's the same thing. Phthalates, these are like plastics, basically, phthalates. So sometimes you'll see products that have like little microbeads in them, like scrubby bits, which are plastics. And they're saying this is really messing up the oceans too. It's in nail polishes and things like that. Anything that they want to have like a fast drying agent is very often a phthalate. And again, endocrine disruptor, and it's toxic to your reproductive system. That's a nail care product. So imagine they're very stinky. So I'm not surprised. Parabens. Parabens are preservatives. So many times in a cosmetic product, a paraben is close to the end of the list because it's just in there as a preservative. And I used to work for a cosmetic company for 10 years. And so I was one of the ones saying, oh, parabens, you need them in there because it's just a tiny amount. You need a paraben to increase the shelf life of the product. And that may be true. But again, over time, how those things build up in your body. When they do biopsies on breast cancer tumors, all the time they find these parabens in there, in those tumors. Because your body really can't get rid of these preservatives. They stick around in your fat cells and in your glands. So again, may interfere with male reproduction, endocrine disruptor. Formaldehyde releasing preservatives. So this is in a lot of fragrance, right? The formaldehyde. And so if you light a candle that's scented, you could be releasing formaldehyde into the air. And it's in a lot of cosmetics as a preservative.
It's in the candles?
Anything that has a synthetic scent, you have a really good chance of having a formaldehyde in there to keep the scent lingering. Perfume, another place they can hide the formaldehyde, right? Carcinogen, neurotoxicity, allergies, and sensitivities. PEG compounds in cream bases, petroleum, and a lot of hair products for shine and lip balms, lipsticks, siloxanes. Again, endocrine disruptors used in cosmetics to soften and moisturize. Hi, Darlene. And again, we talked about the SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate. That's anything that foams, so shampoos, hand soaps, and a lot of cleaners. And triclosan is the last one. This is what you'll find in a lot of antibacterial type products. So things like the hand sanitizers. 9 times out of 10, if you read the back, you'll see triclosan. And people are using that. Yeah, exactly, in toothpaste too. So just read your labels and check. And if it has these dirty dozen in there, get rid of it. That's what I would say. Things like the hand sanitizer. People who work in schools and seniors' homes and hospitals are using that stuff like hundreds of times a day, right? Every time they go into a room, they're taking a pump of that stuff. And that's getting into their body, disrupting their hormones and creating antibiotic resistance. And they're required to use it, which is so crazy. And, you think of kids who have the little, sanitizer in their lunch. They clean their hands and then they eat their sandwich and they're eating that triclosan. So we have other options for these things. So try and get familiar with that dirty dozen so you can start to take the toxins out of your own personal care stuff. So yeah, these chemicals are a risk. Okay, endocrine disruptors we talked about, the body's endocrine system. affects wildlife as well as humans. Carcinogens, identified by their ability to cause cancer in exposed workers and human populations and test animals. Bioaccumulation, we talked about this. It builds up in your body over time. Pesticides, different substances.
Aspartame does too.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So this is the endocrine system. Can you guys see this okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
So these are the glands I was talking about, the pituitary, the thyroid, the adrenals. So if you're feeling really tired, you could have adrenal fatigue. Your adrenal glands are just working too hard to try to regulate your body against all the toxins you're taking in. And the sex organs too are part of it. The pineal gland too in the brain is another one that gets calcified from all of the fluoride or toxins we've taken in over time. And that's our sensitivity to light and dark, and also our intuition in the pineal gland. So when that gets calcified, it's almost like we're not in touch with our intuition, and we're losing our sense of light and dark, like our sleep patterns get thrown off and things like that. It's a regulatory gland for your sleep. Hypothalamus controls body temperature and hunger and thirst. So imagine if these systems get messed up, right? We can be really out of whack. Pituitary gland, it affects the growth, the blood pressure, sex organs, thyroid gland. And on we go here, thymus, thyroid, adrenals, pancreas. So these are the endocrine organs. So when we say something's an endocrine disruptor, these are all the things that are getting disrupted. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah? Good. Okay. And now here's an example of the bioaccumulation. So the things we use every day, right, that can accumulate in our fat cells and in our body. You think of the average woman and what she puts on before she may go out the door, the lotion, the nail polish, the perfume, shampoo, eyeshadows, lipstick, sunscreen, all of this stuff. And, you know, I like wearing a lot of this stuff myself, you know, so I didn't want to necessarily stop and be completely au naturel, but there has to be options that are clean that we can choose.
Can I ask you something about the personal care products?
Mm-hmm.
Does any of it is any of it on the Environmental Working Group's website? Are you familiar with that, the EWG?
I am, yes. I don't know if the makeup is on there. I've looked to try and find the Thieves, and I couldn't find it there. I did, however, look up all the ingredients in Thieves, because I just had some extra time one day, and in the Thieves cleaner. So I looked at all the ingredients and I put them into EWG, and they were either not there because there's no toxins in them, or they were like in the minimal
one,
like
0 or 1.
like no, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's
So
good to know.
Yeah, so I did some research on that, and then when you look at, you know, things like Vim and Ajax, they were like, you know, the top of the list. So and that's what I used to use right before I figured all this out, was just whatever was on sale kind of thing. So yeah, that's the one thing I did. So I don't know if our products are in there yet.
What list is that?
It's Environmental Working Group, EWG. It's a website where you can check. They kind of out the companies that are putting chemicals in the products. They rate them. I think it's on a scale of like, is it 1 to 5, Elsa?
I think it's 0 to 5.
0 to 5.
Yeah, 0.
You know how toxic they are for your body.
Yeah.
And they go a lot on the Dirty Dozen list, and they, you know, if it's got a certain chemical in it, it's going to get a really bad rating. And then it puts pressure on the companies to try and take those ingredients out and make a cleaner version. So it's gaining a bit of traction, which is good. So EWG, but I haven't found our products in there yet. Maybe because we're not a company that's on the shelf in the store. That could be why.
Well, no, they also do Arbonne.
Arbonne, okay.
Arbonne, sorry, not Arbonne, which was interesting. But if Young Living is open about their formulas, like they're not all proprietary where you can't access them, then I guess we could go on a per ingredient basis and just look at that. Could we do that, or is that something that they don't share?
Oh no, the ingredients are all listed on the package,
Okay.
so you
Okay.
could look them all up. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, that's good.
It just
That's
takes
great.
time, right? If you're really
Yeah.
serious and you want to do that,
Yeah.
then yeah, you could totally do that.
Okay, that's good.
Mhm.
Perfect.
So in the end, people say, "Oh, but it's such a small amount." And when I worked for a cosmetic company, this is what I used to tell people: "Oh, it's
Yeah.
just a
Yes.
small
Yeah.
amount; it won't hurt you, right?" Because that's
Mhm.
what we were told to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been using them for years, and I'm fine. But yeah, there's the bioaccumulation, right? The body breaks down many of the toxins, but not all of them.
Right.
And this causes extra stress on the liver, and we get unnatural substances in our body that don't belong there.
Right.
And oftentimes you'll see this come out in like a skin reaction, which happened to me with perfumes, right? I would get a rash from the alcohol in the perfume and the synthetic nature of it.
Mhm.
Probably because my liver said enough, like I don't want to deal with this anymore. So now it's going to react on your skin. My mom taught swimming. That was her career for, gosh, maybe 10, 12 years. She owned a swimming school. So it was an indoor pool that she owned. And eventually, from all the chemicals like the chlorine and bromine and stuff, her body said enough. Her thyroid was destroyed, so she
Oh.
had to have it removed. And then her skin
Wow.
started to break out like in massive, almost like burns. So she couldn't go
Oh.
in the water anymore. So, it was just her body's way of saying, because she's breathing it in, not just in the pool, but she's breathing in the chlorine all day, every day, right?
Yeah.
And she got overexposed, and then she couldn't even go in the pool. She had to put like thick layers of Vaseline and like coat her body so that the water couldn't even touch her skin. And only in emergency would she go in the pool. I thought, oh my gosh, like how is she supposed to do her job, right? So eventually they sold it to somebody. But it just shows how much your body can say, stop, like I've had enough, right? If you're not getting the message one way, it's going to react in another way. So
Yeah. And lucky it was just through the skin and not anything more internal.
Yeah, I mean,
But
respiratory,
other than thyroid.
right?
Yeah.
She's breathing it in too, right? So it is going in her whole body. But yeah.
No, but I mean, I always look at that as like the gentle knock on the door, like, look, you're breaking out. Look,
That's
your
right.
thyroid's not well. Like it could go into a carcinogenic state.
Yeah.
And thank God it didn't. Those are, I think, our protective mechanisms too, that your body's,
Absolutely.
picking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, your body lets you know.
Yeah.
Your body lets you know something's not right here.
Exactly. And you think of people who get chronic headaches, right?
Yeah.
Or I mean, there's so many different symptoms. Fatigue, the body's trying to keep up with something. You keep throwing at it and you're just feeling tired all the time. That's your adrenals, getting overtired, overworking. So yeah, you're right. You have to listen to those, like, why am I getting this headache? I can't keep taking Advil. There's got to be a reason I'm getting a headache all the time, right? And see if you can switch out some things. I've had so many clients that have said, you know what, my headaches have gone because they've started to clean out the guff out of their house. Their allergies are better, like all these different things. You probably noticed that too, right, Darlene? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's good.
It is good. And our skin is our largest organ. So what we put on it matters.
Yeah. And
then children are not small adults. So they are a little more sensitive and we have to be careful what we are, relative to their size. They consume more food, water, and breathe more air than adults. So if you do have some toxins in your home, it's like they're getting a mega dose of it from everything they're taking in. And they're always putting their hands in their mouth, right? So if you're cleaning the floors with something, they're putting their hands in their mouth, and lotions and whatever else they're bathing in. It makes me crazy that companies like Johnson & Johnson, no tears formula. If you read the ingredients of that product, it's shocking that that's being used for babies. And the baby lotions and there's just so much toxin in those products. And the kids are less able to expel these toxins. The livers, their organs are a lot smaller, right? And then they're going through rapid growth and development. So imagine how that's affecting their nervous system and their brain and all these different things that are just taking shape. So what can we do? So that's all the bad news. Now, what can we do about it? So there are some non-negotiable things that are pretty easy for us to change. Like it's hard for us to change what they're spraying on our farm fields, right? We can't really do much about that unless we go and picket and protest. But we can obviously take control of what's coming in our own home and
Sure.
what we put on our body and what we put in our body.
Right.
And you guys have probably heard me say this, like I don't have any issues spending money on good food. I don't even look at the price of vegetables and things when I'm buying them. I just think this is what we need. But I will look at the price of clothing. I won't spend a lot of money on clothing. I've got secondhand furniture, secondhand clothes, secondhand everything. But anything that's going in my body or on my body, I want the best. I want like clean stuff because my health is more important than fashion. Like
Absolutely.
That's just my conviction. And
It's a fact though.
if people say I'm on a tight budget, then I would look at, you know what I mean, where the allocation of the money is going. But for me, that's just priority. So yeah, there are things you do not have to bring into your home and waste your money on, like air freshener and toothpaste. Think about, changing out and getting a cleaner toothpaste, hand or body soap, dish soap, household cleaner, laundry soap and dryer sheets, and food. Oh, let's go back. Sorry. These things are pretty easy to switch out.
Yeah.
We have options for all of these. So there's no reason for you to bring Airwick Glade plugins into your home or Colgate toothpaste or, I can out all these companies, but like that soap I just showed you, which I don't know where it was from because it was a gift. Sorry to whoever gave it to me. And, the Palmolive dish soap and the Vim and all these Tide, Bounce, those are like the bad culprits, the Procter and Gamble, the ones that they advertise and they throw right in your face that everyone knows about. Yeah. So what can we replace them with? What can we trust? Well, you guys probably know this. We talked a little bit last night about the seed to seal, the purity of the oils from the seed in the ground to the seal on the bottle, that we can control the purity and the farming and the way things are cultivated and distilled and tested to know that it's very pure, the oil in the bottle. And from those oils, we have a lot of oil-infused products that you can use in your home. And we have some recipes I can share in a minute. But there's many switch and ditch things that you can do to get rid of the guck and replace it with something natural and clean, and sometimes a lot more effective as well. And many times more economical too, right, Darlene?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
If you make your own stuff, sometimes it actually works out quite a bit cheaper than the one you buy in the store.
Absolutely.
So this is me again at the farm, like I showed you yesterday, smelling the lavender and the different, I think I talked a little bit about this last night, but this was back in 2016, and I've been back again since then. I've had 3 times to the convention now, so each time I go I see something cool and new. So yeah. Thieves. So Thieves is the base of all of our household products, or not all, but most, because it's just a very strong cleaner, strong germ killer. It builds up your body while you're cleaning, which is the coolest thing. Like how many times I've talked to clients who say, oh, I have to leave my house because my cleaner's coming today and I don't want to smell all the chemicals. I'm like, what? They have to vacate their home because they don't want to smell the bleach or whatever, and they're going to air out the house and then they go in. So how is that healthy? That's not healthy. So with the Thieves, they call it the cleaner for the cleaner, because not only is it cleaning your house, but it's building up your immune system as you're cleaning. My kids actually will clean the house if they use this because they actually like the smell and it's not stinky, it's not toxic for them. So Thieves is the bottle you see here with the cap. It's probably got about 30 spray bottles in that one bottle. It's not expensive. I think it's $28.50. So it works out to about 80 cents, 88 cents a spray bottle, very economical. I use this for my countertops, my floors, my windows, all kinds of stuff, general stuff around the house. Some people like to make their own cleaner with Castile soap and add the Thieves to it. But I like the ready-made one. It's really simple and easy. And, you know, it's the right mixture. It's all set, ready to go. And it's very reasonable in price. So it's killing germs. It's killing viruses. It's killing fungus and mold, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. And what's the other thing, Darlene? Antiseptic, did they say? I don't know. It's anti a lot of things.
Antimicrobial.
That's it. That's the one. And see, good thing I have you here. Antimicrobial. Yes. So, and it's the clove oil in there that is the powerful germ killer naturally. So that's pretty cool. And it smells kind of lemony, smells really good. Not a strong smell. I find you have to really try to, you know, smell it to it's not like pine sol that knocks your head off. It's a very delicate smell. And
so if
then,
you're using it as a cleaner, then how did you say that you have recipes as to, like, how do you know it's at the point where it's actually going to be killing viruses?
So just a capful in the spray bottle. Let me get the spray bottle and show you. Daniel, I'm gonna call, sweetie. Okay, it's loud. So this is my bottle here. Let's see if it has the size.
Oh, you said you were gonna let us know where we could get glass bottles, because I haven't seen glass bottles.
Yeah,
maybe later.
there's a place in Toronto, and I think it's called My Essential Business. It's somewhere in the East End of Toronto, where you can actually go in like a store and pick them up.
Okay.
But I sometimes order them online, you know, and I'll get a bunch of them shipped in. Yeah, I'd have to look up the link.
Yeah, well, I can look that up. That's okay.
There's a place called in Mississauga. What's the name of it now? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking out here. Something organics. You know, it'll come to me.
Okay.
They sometimes have bottles, but it's hit and miss as to what size they have. They don't always have the big ones. Sometimes they have the little ones. I can't think of the name of the place, but yeah, my Essential Business. They're a little pricey there compared to the ones I order from the States. But if you just need a couple of bottles and you don't want to buy a big quantity, it's a good idea to get them from there.
Okay.
Okay, so it's an all-in-one cleaner. There's oral care products that are Thieves. So we have toothpaste, we have dental floss, mouthwash. The mouthwash and the dental floss are in the US catalog, but the toothpaste is here in Canada. We have mints, lozenges, so a lot of oral care products. And so, you know, for us, we're all singers in our house. We have to keep, you know, cold and flu free, right? So we can sing, we can't be down with a sore throat, because then there's no concerts, there's no worship, there's no nothing, right? So the lozenges are great. If the boys feel something coming, they take a lozenge. They'll even put a little Thieves, you know, on their tongue or in a hot water, just to fight that off whenever's coming. And very, very helpful. The Thieves spray is great if you need to spray down some surfaces, or even as a room spray in the bathroom. Smells great to kill germs. The dish soap and hand soap we have. The hand soap I love. Dish soap, I would add some Castile soap with it, because I do miss the bubbles in my dishes. So Castile soap is, again, natural. You can get it at the health food store. It's just a unscented natural soap. So I would add that to it to keep the bubbles for my dishes. But at least you have the Thieves blend in that, which is nice.
Right.
Laundry detergent, I love this product. I showed you last night, you just need that little quarter of a capful. And what I do with this is I'll get two, and when one is empty, I will fill the other one half full. So I've got 2 half-full bottles of laundry soap, and then I fill it to the top with water and a cap full of Thieves cleaner. So it waters it down a bit. Also, remember you were saying your kids use the whole cap full?
Yep.
Yeah. So if if it's watered down a little bit like that, I'll fill the cap half full. Then at least I feel like I'm pouring something in.
Yeah.
With the quarter cap, you almost feel like, did I even pour anything in? Because it's such a
Yes.
small amount, right? So
Yeah.
when I water it down like that, at least I can feel like, okay, it's pouring. And it's still the same strength, right? Because you've got the Thieves cleaner in there and it still bubbles up and everything's good. So that's what I've taken to doing with it. It also makes it go a little further. So instead of doing 64 loads, it's going to do 128 loads. No, actually, still do 64. That's right, because I'm using twice as much, but it's costing me less because I'm watering it down. So that's what I've done with the laundry detergent. That's just my little hack because I like to actually feel like I'm pouring something in.
So what if you have clothing that's like stained?
So you could do a spot treatment. You could use like a Thieves, spray and use a pre-treat spot treatment, or you could use a roll-on. Again, get some cleaner, concentrated cleaner in a roll-on and put it on the spot. Does that make sense? Are you there, Judy? Did we lose you, Judy? You look frozen. Okay. Yeah, so you just